Hello, my name is Jim DeMeo, and this is A Course in Miracles. Today's lesson is number 70. My salvation comes from me. It might be worthwhile to review a couple of things. First, the Course in Miracles idea of what salvation is. It's rather different than the traditional Judeo-Christian concept of salvation, which is based on sin and forgiveness of sin. The Course's idea of salvation is basically learning that we are not separate from one another or from our source. This process of regaining an awareness, or as it puts it, remembering what deep down inside has never been forgotten, that we're really one. So when you consider what it's talking about, what the idea of salvation really is in the Course, then of course it comes from within me. Keep in mind that the Course in Miracles denies the idea that we're a body. It does not deny the idea that we have a body. Simply that the body we have is a communication device, not an identity to call ourselves. If that were true, then the whole quest for salvation outside of ourselves would begin to make sense, wouldn't it? But if that were not true, that we're not a body, that our body is a communication device, that we exist in the mind of God, as a thought in the mind of God, then we realize this internal, this interior idea of salvation. It is also, as he puts it in the lesson, the source of all guilt. He tells us that guilt indeed, of course, is impossible. Why? Because guilt requires separation, one person offending another person who are separate from one another. But since there is no separation, there really is no guilt either. But boy, do we make up guilt. And we look for guilt with so many things outside of ourselves. So both the problem of guilt and the solution, salvation, come from within. Joining with you, within me.